Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong life for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to another Finance Friday Wealth Coffee Chat. If you don't know my name's Cang, and I usually start with a finance joke. So today's finance joke is, what do you call it when a pharaoh asks you for money? A pyramid scheme. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Justin. Just to start off today, the RBA met this week to make a decision around the interest rates, and they've decided to keep it on hold at 4.35%, which is always good for mortgage holders. What it does mean is it's probably a couple of months, I reckon probably 6 to 9 months from what most banks have been sharing with us, that the interest rates drop. Interest rates coming down would be most likely between 6 to 9 months from now. The reason why we also notice this is that we get emails about the 3-year fixed rate, and there have been a lot of banks that have been starting to drop their 3-year fixed rates, which obviously means that there is something going on in the future, that they're banking on the fact that interest rates will be coming down. So those are some good indications of interest rates going down in the future, but not anytime really soon. Some other news that we actually got this week, which I found really interesting, was that ANZ has acquired SunCorp. So in the past, we've had banks consolidate. Westpac acquired St. George, CBA acquired Bank West. As brokers, we get told not much has changed. They'll keep the branding of the other bank that they've just acquired. What I have noticed is once they've had the brand for a few years, you start noticing that they're merging those two brands together. So the back office or the niches, the products all become the same. And even the way that they service even the way they assess loan applications remain the same is the same across the board as well. I've been working with my clients who have had Bankwest commercial loans and having them, and CBA asking them to refinance their Bankwest commercial loan because Bankwest no longer are offering their commercial product and any support for it. So So yeah, I wonder what ANZ are going to do in regards to the SunCorp brand and how they may or may not be keeping some of the really great lending policies that SunCorp actually have. So watch this space. It is. I mean, there are plenty of lenders out there, so I don't see it being too much of an impact in terms of clients and getting loans and being able to access these other banks, or these other brands now. But it'd be interesting to see what ANZ decide to do with SunCorp in the next couple of years. So today, I actually wanted to talk about something that is discussed in our positive team, and when we talk about clients. We want to take this opportunity, since it's the end of the financial year and everybody is talking to their accountants. It is a great opportunity for us to actually assess where we're currently at the moment. And what I mean with that is we use a phrase called being bankable, which means that we want to make sure that you're in the position to be able to go and borrow money and be prepared to do that. Now, in the last couple of Wealth Coffee chats, I have been speaking about, your credit files, budgets, all of those sort of things. But what I really want everybody to think about, especially this time of the year, is that what are we doing to ensure, that our interest rates are actually the ones that are going to be most beneficial for us. So when was the last time you actually checked on the interest rate on all your loans, whether it's your home loan or an investment loan? It's a great opportunity now to also check in with either your lender or your broker and confirm the market value for all your properties. So this will give you an idea of how much equity is actually available. When you have that information, you can take that to the lender or your broker and negotiate on the interest rate. So negotiating on interest rate is actually something that should be done, that both clients and brokers can do. And there's a few techniques when it comes to negotiating interest rates, but once you know what your current interest rate is, what the market interest rate is, and what the value for your property is, with that information, you'll be able to go back to the banks, your existing lender, and ask them to reduce the rate compared to whatever's in the market. Now, the reason why the value of your property is important is that banks actually will reduce your interest rate based on the value of the loan to the value of your property. So interest rates at 60%, 70%, and 80%, banks will will offer better interest rates, obviously, for loans that are at 60%. And so if you know the value of your property, then you can use that as a great negotiation tool. The other thing to think about during this time is also how are you actually paying off your bad debt. So bad debt is, your home loan, credit cards, any personal loans, any type of student debts, all those things. Now is a great opportunity to assess that, and also find out more about how you can use structures and processes to actually increase how quickly you can pay off your home. So reducing your balance really quickly, because there are a lot of there are actually techniques out there which utilizes certain structures that will enable you to pay off your loan a lot faster without the need of actually paying more. So have a chat, especially with your brokers, about that. Now, the other thing that we want to encourage you to look at is also how to maximize your borrowing. So with maximizing your borrowing, potentially, if you've had your loan for a couple of years, resetting your loan could increase how much you can actually borrow. Refinancing will also enable you to access equity while it's available to you. Now, I know that we spoke about interest rates coming down, which obviously means that lenders will potentially be able to lend you more money, and with the value of the properties actually increasing, you usually have a gap, and the gap is that equity. And we encourage our clients to access the equity when it's available, so that you are in a position to take advantage of any opportunities that come across your desk. Now, I know that in the positive team, accessing equity means that you're in a position to be able to lock in maybe some off the plan properties or be able to put a deposit down. So we do want to make sure that we're accessing money when we can, because banks will normally lend you money when you actually don't need it. And when you really, really need it, it's when it becomes really hard to get money from them. If you don't have a personal budget, I highly recommend that you organize one for yourself, or you can contact your brokers. We have access to some tools that will actually give you a summary of your budget. If you currently do have a budget, then it's a great time to reassess it and make sure that you understand what your current living expenses are, because what you can do then prepare yourself for when you want to look at borrowing, because we can look at 3 months living expenses and present that figure to the banks. And so if you know what your current budget is, then your brokers can work with you and actually work out what the bank's minimum is and make sure that your living expenses is as close to that as possible, because that will actually maximize how much you can actually borrow. The last thing is getting access to your credit file and taking a look at anything that's happening on your credit file. This will help be able to provide information to your brokers about credit facilities that you have but sometimes forget. I've had clients who have had credit cards that they've always had but they've never used. Maybe the credit cards were used for traveling purposes and they haven't traveled for a while, and so they check the credit file and they can see all their actual credit facilities. The other thing about making sure that you check your credit file is also ensuring that nothing is happening on your credit file that you actually don't know about. And I've had clients who've had issues because their identity's been there has been identity theft, or they've lost their wallet, all these sort of things. And it is actually a lot easier for people to apply for credit when they've got your wallet than you actually think it is. So absolutely take the opportunity to check on your credit file. What is going to be what we've had information in regards to the actual credit score and what it look like. It's what it's going to look like going forward is that the banks are actually now going to rely more on credit scoring, because the credit score will now also be more reliant on all your existing debt and how well you're paying off that. So your credit file will show whatever credit facility you have, if you've been paying it on time, and if it's been late, how late has it been? And those figures, those numbers now will actually will have a huge impact on your credit score. And so lenders will start looking at the credit score and also looking to adjust the interest rate that they offer based on your credit score. So the higher your credit score, the lower the interest rate that they will offer you. And obviously the lower your credit score, the higher the interest rate. Most likely they'll look at calling it, rate for risk. So offering you the interest rate based on your credit risk. Just want to say good morning to Sonia. Tim, why are lenders so reluctant to reduce rates? Question. I guess the short answer to that is the longer they take to reduce your interest rate, the more money they make from you. So, in the past, you notice when rates were going up, straight away, it literally takes within less than a week for the RBA to increase interest rates, banks to come in and go, we're going to push up our interest rates. A week or two later, interest rates are up. When interest rates have gone down, 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes if you don't ask, they take months to actually reduce your interest rate. Again, interest is calculated daily. So the longer they take to reduce your interest rate, the more money they make from you. So experienced that when I really needed a loan, it was so hard to get prior to the bank. Yet prior to that, the bank was literally ringing out, offering me through the roof. Yes, Tim, I completely, I completely feel you on that one. Separation is one of the hardest things to negotiate emotionally, but from a finance perspective as well. It takes. I've had clients who have gone through separations, and just the toing and froing in regards to the finance, and going from 2 income to a single income, and working out whether you can actually afford, or would the banks determine whether you can afford the loan or not, makes it extremely difficult. So yeah, I highly recommend that when everything is good and you are in a position to be able to access equity and loans, then get your brokers to put that in place, because there are certain structures that will actually help you have access to that loan but not actually have to pay interest on it, which means the money's there for you to use, but you're not actually paying interest to the banks in regards to that. So definitely reach out to your brokers and have a conversation with them on how to get that all set up. That's all for me for today. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to catching up with you next week.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.